We are celebrating Western New York this morning with a portal into the history of a brewing landmark that's undergoing a rebirth.
Yeah, the discovery of these new documents give even more context to a community fixture that could serve as another anchor in a neighborhood that's starting to see a turnaround.
Could be the most important thing I do in my lifetime.
This is a story of a proud history's link to a promising future.
Beer is the second most celebrated beverage in the world, so I think naturally humans look to the history of beer and look at it as a conduit to the future.
For John Domrey's transforming the former Schreiber Brewery on Fillmore Avenue into the future home of his Buffalo Brewing Company is his dream slowly becoming reality. But the dream is about more than just making beer.
Well, I think there's a lot of traction going in Broadway Fillmore right now in general.
It's about being part of something greater, and that's why John is concentrated on tying his beer menu to the history of the area, from his Manru line, which was the flagship beer of the original Schreiber Brewery, to the Buffalo Terminale that he created as a fundraiser for the Central Terminal.
I wanted to work with our neighborhood partners here in Broadway Fillmore and help get the word out that, A, we're in Broadway Fillmore, even though we have a retail location in Larkin, but we're making all our beer here in Broadway Fillmore, and the Central Terminal is the last great frontier, I think, of redevelopment projects in Buffalo, and it's perhaps the most critical to the success of not only Broadway Fillmore, but the greater East Side.
And his link to history recently took a huge step forward with a message he received from the great-grandson of the original Schreiber brewmaster.
These beers give us a real glimpse into pre-Prohibition American beer.
He sent John these documents that give him the complete blueprint, or in this case, brewprint, to the beers being made here a century ago.
So this is the first time anyone has ever seen a brew house report from a pre-Prohibition brewery.
These documents that have found a new home on John's phone date back to 1916.
Is uncanny. It's the stuff of dreams, frankly.
And offer a glimpse into the brewer's cookbook that John will now use as a reference point as he forges ahead in resurrecting the past.
Like I try to tell people the way
And John says his plans for a tasting room, an event space, and even a brewseum and the rest of the facility, they're still in the future. But his immediate concentration is making the building more weather tight. And as you can imagine, that is no cheap project.
No.
So.